I have just finished playing Batman Arkham Shadow. I am completely sweating, look at me. But yeah, I had a great time, so here are my first impressions of the game. I'll be showing you brand new VR gameplay from Batman Arkham Shadow that hasn't been revealed before, and even a few raw reactions I had when jumping into this private demo for the first time. To answer a few burning questions I know I had before playing it, yes, it's a full-fledged Arkham game in VR. And I've never experienced Gotham like I just did. It's as AAA as it gets for VR, and it's definitely worthy of being part of the franchise, but is it actually good? Is it actually fun to play? Well, first things first, it's a brand new story, and as you might have seen in the trailers, it features a villain called the Rat King. Him and his goons are trying to take over Gotham, and it's up to you to stop them. As riots engulf the city, this exciting race to fix things before it all goes wrong will have you fighting, using stealth and your detective skills, a roster of gadgets, and even a full-fledged skill tree. You'll get to meet iconic characters like Dr. Quinzel and Crane before they became Harley Quinn and Scarecrow, as well as other well-known faces like Harvey Dent, Jim Gordon, and Ratcatcher. Let's talk mechanics because there's a lot to go through here, and it was my biggest fear of them not getting these right. Now, an essential element of the Arkham games is the free-flow combat system, which has been completely reimagined for VR from the ground up. I even had a chance to talk with the developers, and they all understand how key it is to get this right for the fans. I was a bit worried about how this would work in VR and the combo mechanics when I first saw the gameplay trailer, but trust me, I felt absolutely badass while fighting bad dudes. The combat is based on a few key mechanics. When you make a fist and punch, you also dash forward in the direction of that punch. Then, to pull off combos, you need to punch in a specific sequence. Before playing it, I initially thought this might feel gimmicky, but it feels super authentic to the Batman games we all know and love. You can also stun enemies by pulling your cape over them, and of course you can glide. You've got Batsy's iconic grappling hook, batarangs, as well as smoke bombs and many other gadgets. But we'll talk about those when we get to the stealth part. My absolute favorite mechanic when it comes to the combat is the parry and counter-attacking. With it being first person as opposed to third person like the other games in the franchise, I didn't quite know what to expect. But enemies can attack from all directions, and you can parry and counter them even if they're coming from behind. There's an indicator that shows when someone's attacking you from outside of your view, and simply making a fist and timing your parry just right made me feel incredibly powerful and slick. Another big part of the series and our badass main character is stealth, and once again I was surprised to see how well executed this was. The demo was structured in a way that allowed me to experience a bit of everything, and there was this one section where stealth was key. I was using my grappling hook to glide between these gargoyles and take down enemies quietly. You can choose your own way of doing it. A few options are doing a glide takedown, hanging down and grappling your enemies back up, knocking them unconscious, or you could get even more creative and use smoke bombs and batarangs, climb into vents and even sneak behind them and choke them with this cool mechanic that mimics the physical action of doing so. You also have detective vision available, which can easily be activated any time by just putting your hands to the side of your head and hitting trigger. This highlights points of interest, enemies, weapons, grappling points, and clues you might need to pay attention to. Also, while I didn't get a chance to try these out during my demo, we can see from the recently released gameplay trailer that there will be a few other gadgets available in the full game too, as well as some additional mechanics that will unlock while progressing through the game. And speaking about unlockables and upgrades, last but not least in the mechanics department, there's an entire skill tree available in the game. This wasn't quite part of the demo, and I don't think I was supposed to see that yet, but I kinda stumbled on it by accident when pausing the game. The skill tree will allow you to upgrade your suit, weapons, gadgets, and from what I could tell, even combat moves and finishers. I'm really looking forward to exploring that further when I get access to the full game, which should be soon, I hope. The game is coming exclusively to MetaQuest 3 in October, so let's talk about graphics, because these can always be a bit of a concern when it comes to standalone VR games. While I'm not entirely sure what frame rate it was running at, it didn't feel like it was using any reprojection, and there were no dips or issues during my demo. Now, in terms of visuals, I'll just show you a snippet of my raw first reaction when starting the game for the first time. Apologies for the audio here, but I was in a pretty noisy environment at Gamescom, and truth be told, I kind of forgot to hook up my microphone because I was just so excited to try the game. Oh wow. Go into the light. This is awesome. Looks fantastic for a Quest game as well. Looks so good, the shadows and everything. Lighting. I truly don't know how the team at Camouflage pulled this off, but it looks awesome and Gotham never felt more immersive. From the details on the suit, which by the way is a full body render, not just hands, to the lighting and shadows in the environment, it's up there with the best looking Quest 3 games. The art style they went with is realistic and fits the theme and franchise great. Now let's talk about a few potential downsides, cause nothing is ever 100% perfect, right? Well, not sure if this is even important to everyone or not, but there isn't much interactivity with the environment, like being able to pick up objects and things like that. There are a few collectibles and secrets hidden around the levels for completionists, but at least in the demo I tried, not much else. This isn't at all a deal breaker for me, and Batman doesn't really have time to sit around and play with random bottles and other objects around the map. But from an immersion perspective, it would have been cool to have some destructible parts of the environment to maybe throw your enemies into. Now let's address the elephant in the room. The fact that this game is only coming to VR and even more so exclusively Quest 3. This has, to say the least, raised a few concerns in the community. And to be honest, as much as I absolutely love VR, I can't say I don't understand where these people are coming from. I was genuinely shocked when they first announced it's only coming to Quest 3, because it means a lot of hardcore Arkham fans won't ever get the chance to play it, like the ones with disabilities for example. And also, even if everyone was willing to buy a Quest 3 to play it, some people might get motion sick and some just prefer a more laid-back experience, because this one can definitely get sweaty as you saw in the intro. Now of course the game does include all kinds of methods to prevent motion sickness as much as possible, but still. After watching all of the interviews with the Batman Arkham Shadow creative director and talking to him personally at Gamescom, I started to be more and more at ease, because he's clearly a big fan of the franchise and realizes the weight on his shoulders to get this right. He never tried to discard the feelings that part of the community had, and instead put his head down and focused on making the game the best it could possibly be, and simply change people's mind about it. Overall, a lot of my fears about Batman Arkham Shadow are gone, and my excitement levels are higher than ever to play the full game. So by the way, make sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss that. Let me know your thoughts on the game and ask me anything about my play session of Batman Arkham Shadow in the comments below. I'll leave you with some more cool gameplay and I'll catch you soon. Cheers guys!